You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. The Taylorville City Council met on Monday evening to discuss business, review ordinance, and go over new business. Resolutions that were approved include an ordinance of authorizing the sale of personal property owned by the City of Taylorville, and a resolution authorizing a resolution revising spending limit policy. Also approved Monday night was a special events permit for Kiwanis Kids Day on September 19th and September 20th, the 2025 Homecoming Parade on Wednesday, October 8th, and a special events permit for the 2026 Graduation Parade on Friday, May 15th. Under committee reports, a motion was approved to purchase and install new videocom systems at the fire department, and it was announced that Jeff Stoner be recommended for a promotion to captain within the fire department. Fire Chief Matt Aderman praised Stoner for his dedication and hard work to the Taylorville Fire Department.
Jeff, to promote to captain of the fire department, we follow these state rules on promotional. So there's a test, a written test, and then a oral interview they have to go through. So he's passed all that. He's the first one on the list. So he's been with us a little over, I think, 12 years now, and he's a great asset to our department. So he'll move in and take over Nick Hackney's spot.
Several motions concerning work to be done were approved, including work on Well 3 and concrete repairs at the Tasty Treat. A deer duck drawing was approved for September 9th. Existing hunting ground leases were approved for renewal at their same rate, and construction phase for the Rehabilitate Runway 927 project were all approved. The city also heard from Taylorville Mayor Bruce Berry, approved bills, and there were no public comments. The meeting took only about 15 minutes. The next city council meeting is set for September 7th of 2025. The Christian County Fair Board has announced dates and times when ticket sales will be offered for this Saturday's Combine Demo Derby. Fair officials tell Regional Radio News that ticket sales will take place at the fair office this Friday from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. and on Saturday, or the day of the event, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tickets will then be offered from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. within the ticket booth under the fair's grandstand. Get more information on this Saturday's Christian County Fair Board Combine Demo Derby by visiting their Facebook page. The Christian County Board is set to meet on Tuesday at 6 p.m. At the meeting will be public comments. Trustee Steve Seiler will be appointed to the Awanaco Fire Protection District. Matt Hart will have a CCEDC update, and State Representative Brad Halbrook will have an update as well. Under committee reports, the board will hear on Swift Current Energy, record storage needs, and a delay survey maps purchase. The board will review the state's attorney carpet installation quotes and discuss courthouse and building updates. Under new business, the board will discuss a residency waiver, a resolution for county engineer salary budget discussions, and any other issues that may come to the board. People in 5 central Illinois counties seeking home health or hospice care have an award-winning option available to them. Quad County Home Health and Hospice has won multiple awards in recent years for their work and patient satisfaction. Pana Community Hospital owns and operates the service, which serves Christian, Shelby, Montgomery, Fayette, and Macoupin counties. They aim to provide high-quality care for patients recovering from injuries and illnesses, in addition to those seeking comfort near the end of life. Morgan Wilbur is a registered nurse at Quad County. She says receiving top marks from patients, as opposed to simply an awards committee, speaks to the significance of their honors.
So there's 2 different awards. One is the Home Health Award, and Quad County has ranked in the top 20% for all the home health agencies in the U.S., and that's based on patient satisfaction surveys. And we have had that for the past several years. And same goes for Quad County Hospice, although we've been ranked in the top 5% of the U.S. hospice agencies in 2022, 2023, and 2024. And those are all based on patient satisfaction surveys. Little snippets, that patients or families send in the mail after discharge. And that's probably my favorite part is, seeing, if we did a good job, or, that's mostly what they send in, is that we really appreciate you and you did a good job. And so that makes you feel good. Like you're doing what you need to do and you're in the right place.
Quad County staff work to make sure each patient gets the care that they need. Often, these decisions are made pre-referral.
So initially, when the referrals come to our office, the physician has already made the determination whether they think they're more appropriate for home health or more appropriate for hospice. And that physician has had the conversation with that patient prior to them coming to us. So that's how it starts. Now, there are times where we have a patient on home health and we are seeing them frequently, maybe more, than the physicians, and we see there's a decline and they may be more appropriate for hospice. Then that's a discussion we have with the physician and then also with the family, and just kind of help determine what is going to be the right path for the patient. So ultimately it's up to the physician and then the family, and then we're just there to kind of help, with the decision.
For home health services, the care team works towards accomplishing a set of goals related to what the patient needs. Several parties take part in determining what those goals should be.
Yeah, so it's kind of a collaborative effort. Whenever they come to us, of course, we have what the physician is ordering us for. Do they have wound care or IV antibiotics? And do they need medication education or education on their comorbidities? So yes, of course, we'll do that. And that is what the physician has ordered us for. And then we just get that extra information from the patient or their family, those kind of personal goals that they want to achieve. So we have a pretty lengthy conversation with the patient and their family at admission and decide what, how to best go about this and what plan of care do we want to create for this patient to get them back to where they want to be.
As for the hospice side, Quad County works with the patient to provide the care that they need. In addition, their work extends to supporting loved ones, including well after the patient does die.
So we have, I mentioned earlier, all the services that we have available to the hospice patient: nursing, home health aides, social worker, massage therapy. All of us are in, we're all part of their team when they're on hospice. So every time that we go in and see the patient or their family, we're providing support for them, emotional support, just answering questions, even just being there, being a sounding board for the patient or their family. So that's the biggest thing.
Sure.
While they're here, this is the support we're going to provide to you. And then again, being available 24/7. And then, after the patient does pass away, we mentioned bereavement services. So our social worker is great, and she touches base with the family for up to 13 months after the patient has passed away. So just providing support to them, whether that's visits, phone calls, whatever they need. She also holds support groups, bereavement support groups.
More information on Quad County Home Health and Hospice is available at panahospital.com. Morgan Wilbur appeared as a guest on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by First National Bank of Taylorville.
I'm James Kirk, Vice President at First National Bank in Taylorville. I get it. Switching banks sounds like a chore, but we make it easy. I've helped people and businesses move their accounts with less hassle than they've expected and more personal service than they've ever gotten before. We've been here for nearly 70 years, a true community bank that's not going anywhere. If you're ready to make a change, we're ready to help. First National Bank in Taylorville, first every time for nearly 70 years. Member FDIC.
If you've noticed a spike in recent energy bills, then you are not alone. Ameren customers have reported increases of up to 50% on their bills, while the increase for those on ComEd's grid is around 10%. These changes have heavily impacted those on tight budgets and have left them and other customers looking for ways to conserve energy to reduce their expenses. But why has this happened? What can customers do to handle the shift? And what's next? Valerie Belusco, Community and Economic Development Educator with the University of Illinois Extension, has some of those answers. She says the current phase in an ongoing transition of energy supply is temporarily hampering providers' ability to supply energy.
The big issue is, which everybody knows, we have had the fossil fuel plant closures as part of the state phasing out coal and natural gas plants. Illinois is really aiming for 100% clean energy by 2045. This is part of the CEJA Act, that stands for Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. And it's really just removing the traditional generating capacity from the grid and putting on what we would call renewable energy. So when we take offline some of the more traditional generators, that can happen rather quickly. But the build out for the renewable energy takes time.
In addition to the decrease in supply, there is an increase in demand. Many people tend to believe that increase is due to the summer heat. However, there is a more novel cause: AI.
They use a significant amount of energy just in the way they kind of operate. So they have a high demand, and these are, just online, or, if you think about it, it's technology. And so it's trying to figure out what we want, and it's trying to map that, and we're trying to create that and continually make it better. But it just sucks up the energy. And so as more and more people start using AI, chat GPT, those kind of things, the more energy we're using. And it might not seem like it to people who are on the user end, who are just, sitting at their computer or, using their phone. But when you look at the big data processing centers, it really does use an immense amount of energy.
From the new to the old, another major cause involves appliances. Newer models are made to be more energy efficient, but not everyone has switched over.
Some people have been slower to replace their major appliances like refrigerators and freezers, water heaters, air conditioners to energy efficient models. And so as they continue to get older, they just continue to kind of have to work harder and therefore use more energy. And so when we're in a time where the grid is kind of already we're not maxed out yet, but we're definitely using a lot of energy on our grid, that can really impact it and affect what our bill looks like.
Ameren also expects their customer bills to return to normal in the fall. Until then, Belusco advises people to be cognizant of how much they are using various appliances and to come up with other ways to make meals or do some of your other household chores.
Well, you know what? One of the things that we try to do in our family is not use the oven as much. So we actually have an air fryer, and we use it quite heavily in the spring and summer months because we do not want the oven heating up our house, for whether it's for frozen pizza or to bake brownies. While we're in the kitchen or talking about the kitchen, also, only run your dishwasher when it's full. And think about other smaller appliances that you might have to do some of your cooking, like maybe a toaster or a toaster oven. Also, if your kids are like mine, they're changing their clothes constantly in the summer because they're going from activity to activity. If you are using your washer, use your washer full loads. Don't do part loads. Really consider running them on cold water and not hot water. And the use of your dryer. Line dry clothes whenever you can.
Belusco also recommends that anyone who is concerned about being able to afford energy payments should talk to their provider before said bills come in, instead of after that they've already fallen behind. More information on the University of Illinois Extension is available at extension.illinois.edu or by calling 217-532-3941. Valerie Belusco appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. Illinois Congressman Darren LaHood is hoping for resolution with China on the trade front. He says farmers need certainty and they need export demand to pick back up. LaHood serves on the House Committee on Ways and Means. Harvest season is nearing. A reminder about the Illinois Harvest Permit for the Illinois Farm Bureau Associate Director of Transportation and Infrastructure, Rodney Niddle. The permit is available on September 1st through December 31st. More info is available at ilfb.org. Type Illinois Harvest Permit into the search box. Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home. This is Chad Sparks.
When a loved one passes, grieving family members and friends often are confronted with dozens of decisions about the funeral arrangements. Sutton Memorial Homes in Taylorville and Nokomis have been helping families in the area for over 55 years with these often difficult decisions. They offer pre-planning, traditional funerals, and cremation. Austin and the staff at Sutton Memorial Homes' goal is to make your family's transition easier in their time of need. Sutton Memorial Homes, where caring is what they do best.
51-year-old Christy L. Schulte of Kincaid died on August 13th. A memorial gathering is scheduled for August 20th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.